Hey guys, it's been a while since I posted, but I wanted to share a little side project I'm building. So here it is. I am working on this little app called RightFront. It's all about sending your users to the right app storefront for them, because annoyingly with Apple and iOS, if you deploy an app, you have to specify exactly which store you want to send your user to. So you don't get a generic link. In Google, with Google Play, they will give you a generic link and Google will figure out where's the right place to send your user. So since Google knows I'm from South Africa, it will automatically send me to the South African version of the app. And if I'm from South Africa and the app's not available in South Africa, Google will tell me, hey, the app is not available in your store. Annoyingly though, with Apple, let me just show you. I have this link to the DBC iPlayer. Now this over here, my app actually just goes to the right place, but the correct app store is apps.apple.com/gb/apps DBC iPlayer. This part gets generated automatically. They're good at that. They get the name right in the slug, and that will change based off of which region you're going to. But the problem is DBC iPlayer is only available in the UK. So if I go to, let's say, the US store /US, I get this sad little, the page you're looking for can't be found. Now, cool thing on my app, NHS, this is an app. This is an example for most people. They deploy their app into multiple countries, but now on their landing page, they don't have the right link to send the person to. So for example, on a landing page, you usually just have one landing page that everyone lands on. You can't just change the link. If you are doing localization where you have languages, you can obviously change that based on the locale. But the problem is still like language and region don't always mix. So for example, Australia, United States, United Kingdom, all these people speak English and they've probably all seen the same English version of the app. Now in this case, I can go to the NHS app, which is the GB version. If I change this URL to US, then that works fine. And then I think AU as well also works. But what if I go to South Africa? There's no NHS app in South Africa. ZA is the South African code here. I just get this sad little page you're looking for can't be found. It doesn't say that the app's not available in my region. It just says that the page can't be found. So back to my app. The way this works, I have a little ID here for Spotify. If I go to the storefront here, I'm going to copy the link and actually just paste this in right here. The link looks like this. It's rightfront.app/link, and then the query param is ID equals ID, the Spotify ID. If I hit enter, my app will automatically redirect me to the South African version because I am using the South African version. Now, I wanted to actually go back and show you the experience as a developer. So I've opened this app locally over here. No, not over here. It's over here. And I've opened it in a few places. But when you're logged in, here are my links. And I can go create a new link. And let's just copy that Spotify store, just so that I actually have a real store ID. And we can call this app stuff. We'll call it like that because I want to create a permalink. And the permalink pretty much means that the link will be permanent. I know you're a user account, so I'm not going to change anything around this. If you have the link /p/app stuff, then you're good to go. Again, this is localhost. Obviously on production, this link will be https rightfront.app/p/app stuff. I've made it environment variable links so that if my domain name ever changes, I don't have to go refactor this later, but it will generate this link. And if I click on this link, so it goes to the German app store, and well, Spotify in Germany, they don't actually have a German language for this, but you'll see this in other apps that they do actually do the correct language as well. So back to my app. If you are in links, my app stuff link here, if I go click on manage it, I can actually see that, oh, I've done a click today, which is really neat. There is no fallback rate because I went to the correct place. The top country is Germany because that's the only click we have. And then there's one unique visitor because we do store the hashed IP of the person who clicks. Not raw IPs, just a hashed version so that we can make sure that everyone's unique. Or you can see if one person, same person's clicking the link over and over again. So I might figure that out in my pricing situation if they're unique clicks versus returning user clicks. Returning user clicks will probably be cached anyway and it costs me less. But this will tell you your top sources, your device type, operating system, browser, and it'll give you the permanent link over there as well for you to use. And if you really want to delete it, you can also do that. Now I have seeded some data to show you what lots of data looks like. So if I go into here, this is a seeded link. It's a seeded link to an app that doesn't exist. I'm meant to actually click manage. The UX here needs a little bit of polishing. So here we are on the link. I think it might be better to show the 30-day view. And you can actually see, okay, on this day, I clicked that many times, that day, I clicked that many times, etc., etc. bear with me. This does need a lot of UI polish. This whole chart I actually want to be bigger so you can see more and just more responsive in hovering. Like I want you to actually see as you hover over the lines, not just on the specific data points. But this is cool. It will tell you your unique visitors, your tracked links, fallback rate. So if you have a lot of fallback people, you might want to see, okay, what is the fallback? The top country that's been clicking it has been Mexico. I might want to split up what's your top fallback country versus just your top clicks in general and split that analytics out. There's a lot of things I want to do to actually polish this. But again, I have no users right now. So I have nobody telling me what's useful and what's not useful. So I don't know where to best spend my effort because I'm a full-time developer. And this is just the thing I do on the weekends and evenings and very early mornings. So let's just go look at my nice big face again. And here we are. I wanted to talk about that chicken and egg situation that I have here. And I think most indie app developers and solo developers experience this, is you start building something and then you have to market it. And marketing sucks, in my opinion. I'm really bad at it. I'm not good at it. I don't know how to tell people like, hey, I built the thing. Again, I could make a LinkedIn post about it. I'm making this YouTube video now about it, but it's very difficult because you have this imposter syndrome. It's, oh, I built this cool thing, but it's not perfect. And no software ever is perfect. But at least, you know, when you're in a big team full of people, you can be like, okay, collectively, we're all working together to make it more and more perfect. And you have feedback of different people telling you what's the most important thing. But when you're alone, you don't get that feedback of, this is really important and this doesn't matter, because I can often spend tons of time working on something that is really not important and not going to move the needle in our product. So I'm in that situation. If any of you are app developers specifically for iOS and you would find this useful, I'd love it if you check out this and see if it's worth using. You can let me know right here in the YouTube comments, like what needs to change, because there are a ton of things I want to work on. One is the styling, that whole user experience. It can be better. Like even when I'm demoing it, I'm like, oh, I did the wrong thing because it wasn't intuitive. I needed to improve. The whole look, it's too dark. There's not enough contrast between elements, all these various little stylistic things that I don't want to spend time on yet because nobody's using it anyway. I want people to find the tool useful before I invest hours into making it really look very polished. Another thing, as I said, the analytics, I can do so much more with the analytics. There's more analytics I can collect. There's better ways I can show off the analytics. There's so many ways I can go there. Even my settings, I don't have any settings other than saying, this is the link and this is the slug for the permalink. I want to have things like you could set up a custom domain, or you can do a custom fallback URL. So you don't have to use my fallback URL that I've made. So there's lots of things around that where I just wanted to say, hey, let the app developer or app marketer decide how the fallback behavior should actually act. Another thing is internationalization. I want to make my app available for people in other countries for their language. Again, I know your browsers can do this, but how cool would it be if my fallback page would automatically show to the user what language they're from, to show them in their language that, hey, this app's not available in their country. And that also takes away work from the app developer and marketers and makes my app a little bit more useful, because now if I'm sending this to some Spanish dude, they'll actually see the fallback page in Spanish. And that doesn't matter for my Chinese developer using this app, or my English developer or English marketer marketing this app link. And then I've already mentioned custom domains. Like what if, let's say BBC iPlayer was going somewhere else? I think the NHS app's better. If we have nhs.com, we could have app.nhs.com that could go to my fallback route, or my permalink. My permalink can be linked to that subdomain. That would be really cool. There's so many things that we could just do to improve this. And then just performance things in general. There are a lot of places where I could improve my performance. My performance logic is not perfect. The redirect process could definitely be optimized. There's lots of things I can do there. Even navigating between pages, it doesn't feel great. Right now, everything I'm doing is free. The only thing I'm paying for is my domain name, and that was super cheap too. There's definitely more processing power that I can push into this app and my server side of things. And then I was going to think about pricing plans. I haven't really done anything there yet. My biggest issue is, for one, I'm in South Africa, so Stripe doesn't just work with us. Fortunately, Stripe has taken over, or they've acquired Paystack. I'm in the process of getting approved there, but it's also a chicken and egg scenario where it's like you have to tell them your pricing plans before they will give you pretty much access to use their pricing engine. And I don't want to do that until I have users. I want to think about this quite deeply. I don't want to just set prices and be like, yeah, this is how much it's going to cost. Because my goal is to do a very generous free tier. Like everything you've got now, what you're able to use, that's going to be free forever. That is my plan. Unless you're bringing in so much traffic all the time that I'm like, okay, look, you can pay me something. But for the most part, I want to have a very generous free tier and then just make other features paid, and also keep it still very affordable, because I know developers paying for developer tools and marketers paying for marketing tools don't want to spend too much money on the actual tools. Let's talk about our tech stack. So obviously you can see I'm using Next.js. Okay, I don't know if it's obvious, but I am using Next.js. I'm just myself, I'm very into React. I like React, it works really well. With Next.js, I get some full stack capabilities to do some server-side stuff, and I don't have to manage a server and my front end separately and try and manage that orchestration. And everything can just be deployed very easily with Vercel, which brings me onto my database. I'm using a Postgres database, specifically using NeonDB, because that also just works very nicely with Vercel. So everything is locked in one place. Again, not the greatest. You want to be like agnostic with your tech stack, but there are definitely things here I can break out into different places if I really wanted to. But I actually really like Vercel. I trust them, and my costs are basically nothing at the moment. And I am definitely willing to pay if this goes beyond a hobby project. Then as for styling, the only real thing that I'm using is Tailwind. This is all just Tailwind and a lot of vibe coding. I would like to actually go use Storybook and make a whole component library where I can build components in isolation and put them together and make everything look a lot better. Because guys, like, look at this. There's no contrast between the back and the front and the headings. And I used to have a footer. The footer's not even here on my main page. It should be there. It should be on every page. I'm sure you've looked at this and went, oh, that's disgusting. I would like to make things pop a little bit more and more interesting. So having Storybook as a start, because I'm vibe coding a lot of the UI, which is weird because I'm a front-end developer full-time for my life. I don't know why I'm vibe coding everything, but it is what it is. The cool thing about making reusable components in your IDE or in your code base is when you are vibe coding from there on, your LLM will start using your components and everything will just have a more organic, everything looks the same feel, rather than you having inconsistencies throughout your app. Because you asked your Cursor or ChatGPT or whatever you're using, Claude, you've just asked it on different days of the week to go make you something, and it differs a lot. So if you have fixed components in your code base and actual component library, then you hit a lot less inconsistency moments, which is nice. Anyways, back to my process in general. Let's just talk about that. Oh, wait, there was one more tech stack thing. For authentication, I am using Clerk. Clerk is amazing. It's free for your first 10,000 monthly active users on your project. So far, I have one monthly active user, which is myself. If any of you guys are interested, this app, RightFront.app, is available for you to use. You can sign up. It's free. And yeah, back to Clerk. Clerk is amazing. Every time back in the past 10 years ago, I remember I'd make little side projects. I'd spend weeks I'd spend a week on the authentication, and then I'd be bored and be like, okay, cool, I built a wonderful login page and sign up page, and I can authenticate and my user can create to-do tasks. The annoying thing is it shouldn't have to take you a whole week to go and build your whole authentication system before you can actually go build the app that you wanted to build. By the way, this isn't sponsored, but Clerk, you totally should sponsor me if you think this is cool. I think Clerk is really cool because it just saves so much time. Everything works. It was so easy for me to set up GitHub and Google authentication. There's lots of options to do many more. That's where you start to pay. That's where they get you. If you want to add lots of social sign-in options or things like a waiting list. But there are things where you can actually just build the side stuff on your own. Like a waiting list, I could have built that on my own. I don't need to use Clerk to have a waiting list for users. But I just figured, hey, give users beta access early and just stop playing around, because that's what I really need. I need feedback. Clerk's amazing for authentication. My process is just generally rubber ducking with ChatGPT 5 or ChatGPT 5.2. I do that via T3 chat. I really like what Theo is building there. And then I use Cursor. Cursor is my IDE of choice. I used to be a VS Code guy. I was on GitHub Copilot, and then I switched over to Cursor about a year ago, and I've been a big fan ever since. Otherwise, guys, I'm really open to hearing constructive feedback around this. Please, constructive though, I'm very fragile. Feature requests, if you have any, bug reports, if you spot any, you can literally just let me know right here in the comments of this video. Just let me know and I'll reply. I'll probably thank you if you're kind. And yeah, otherwise, guys, if you're building anything interesting, let me know. I'd love to check it out. Other than that, happy coding. Cheers.